Welcome back, guys, to another beer review. You're watching All the Beer No Idea. Bazza, the walrus of beer love, is back. Right, this time we are heading off to the Perfect Draft over there, and what we've got coming up is a beer from a brewery that they certainly get their name out there, but not necessarily for always the right reasons. And it's Brewdog's Punk IPA, a 6-litre keg, like I say, from the Perfect Draft Pro. On the keg, it says the beer that started it all. Now, I'm going to beg to differ that this is going to be that beer that started it all. It might be called Punk IPA, but I've not had the original one that was released. It was 6%. I've had the 5.6% beer, but this is now 5.4%. So I'm going to shut up talking. We're going to go over there, do a video of the pour, come back, and we'll take the review from there. So back in a tick. So let's get pouring. So, beer in a glass. This is the first pour from the keg. Looks really good. Right, as I said in the previous bit, just before we've done the pour, the beer that started it all. Like I say, it was 6% when it first came out. Never had that. A lot of people raved about it. And then it was changed down to 5.6%, and a lot of people were saying that even that one wasn't as good as the original. Now this one has now been put down to 5.4%. They seem to be quite well known for tampering with their beers, along with a lot of breweries, I suppose, lower in the ABV. So it's going to be quite interesting to try. So let's get on with the prices. £41.90. Yeah, I think that's a bit overpriced myself. You know, I think a good way is to try and compare it to cans, prices of cans, and you can pick the Punk IPA up in cans for bugger all. So I think it is overpriced. But in that £41.90, you've got a £5 keg deposit, and I ordered it and got 15% off the keg. So I've had about £6 off it. So you get about, let's say, roughly £11 off it. So it's coming in at about 30 quid, £31 for the 6-litre keg. 24 glasses of 18 330ml glasses. Look at that, 30 quid. That's working out at about £1.75 a can, so it does work out that a little bit expensive once you've had all your discounts and everything, and it's been lowered. So yeah, there's the pricing side of things. Let's crack on anyway. So beer in a glass, hazy sort of amber orangey sort of colour. We had a good 2-finger of compact, beautiful compact white head on top. I mean, if you look at it in a glass, there looks nothing wrong with it. There's gentle carbonation going up, so looks wise you can't complain. This is also set at 5 degrees on the Perfect Draft Pro, and like I showed you there, poured like a dream. So let's give it a swirl, dive in on the nose and see what we get. Yeah, it's you get a bit of grapefruit. It's juicy, it's grapefruit, it's a little bit tropical, it's a little bit hoppy. I mean, on the nose it smells all right. On the nose, for me at the moment with the first glass, it doesn't appear to be any less than what the 5.6% can was on the aroma. The aroma's there. It's a shame I haven't got one of them cans handy just to kind of compare the two, but the aroma's there, maybe a little bit muted, shall we say. Maybe a little bit thinner, but it smells all right. So let's shut up and let's give it a taste, because the proof is in the pudding, isn't it? Cheers. Right. Let's I don't know how to go about this one, but let's go in again. Body's okay, but not as heavy as it used to be for me. Carbonation's nice and gentle, I can't moan about that. Mouthfeel is a little bit ragged around the edges. Taste wise, grapefruit, bitter, hoppy, typical sort of IPA sort of bitterness to it. But it has a wateryness about this beer. And the bitterness in this for me is different to what it used to be. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I don't know, maybe it's just my palate adjusting, I don't know, but for me, the bitterness in this beer now isn't as clean as it used to be. 5.4%. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's drinking like that. That bitterness gives the feeling of a 5.4% beer. Now, for me, it's not the same beer. It's not even the same beer as the 5.6% one. If I'm reviewing this now, as this beer is now, I would say it's a little bit wishy-washy. The bitterness is in there, but it's almost a little bit of a nasty bitterness. It's not the nicest of sort of bitter feels to a beer. The more you drink it, the more you sort of lose that flavour to the beer. That grapefruit sort of gradually disappearing, and it's starting to feel more like the grapefruit sort of flavour in there is disappearing, and that wateryness is coming more to the forefront the more you drink. For me, I would say this was, you know, it's for me, it's not great. It's not. It's not great. It's not great. I wouldn't put this above. You know, bear in mind this is $41.90. You've got Goose Island, which is £34.50. Excuse me. 5.9% that is. And I haven't had it for a little while, but for me, this doesn't match up to Goose Island. And you've got Crew Republic's IPA that comes in at 6.4%, I think it is, or 6.2. Is it 6.4? And that's $39.99. So that's actually cheaper than this. And that blows this out the water. Goose Island is much better than this. For me, Brewdog have ruined it. If you're one of these people that never had the original one and you're trying it, you may well like it. It's going to be a little bit like that, really. If you've not had the beer before and you don't know what it was like, you're probably going to enjoy it. But even for me, on that sort of side of things, the bitterness in the beer isn't so nice, and it's a little bit wishy-washy. Compared to the old Punk IPA, and I'm just talking about the 5.6% one, something's changed in this without a doubt, because there's only 0.2% difference in the alcohol, and it's a totally different beer. Now, I've heard some people say the recipe must have changed, and for me, I would agree with them, because if it was, you know, there shouldn't be that much of a difference in 0.2% in a beer, but there is. It's thinner, it's a little bit wishy-washy, that bitterness isn't as nice in there. The overall flavour of the beer isn't as nice as it used to be. So something must have changed dramatically. Like I say, when you're dropping that percentage that much, you know, 0.5% can make a difference, but that much and the amount of difference it makes, is something that's changed in the beer. They've definitely done something different. So yeah, is it the beer that launched the craft beer scene? Is this the beer that started it all? This one that's in that keg is not the beer that started it all. The first one they actually released at 6% probably was, and was probably 10 times better than this. So for me, yeah, Punk IPA, £41.90. You are paying a premium price for an IPA that is not premium. That is, quite frankly, it's old now, isn't it? It's old, and certainly what they've done with this one, for me, it's almost out of date. There's much better beers out there. Certainly when you look at IPAs, Goose Island for me is much better than this. Crew Republic is an absolute belter of an IPA, and I would much rather spend 40 quid on that. I know it's not the cheapest keg, but 40 quid on Crew Republic over this any day. So for me, Punk IPA, yes, it's drinkable enough. You'll be able to drink it. The wishy-washiness will kick in, you will notice that. It's okay, but that is about it. It's only okay. So it's going to be down to independent taste, I suppose. For me, it's not a patch on what it used to be. Would I pick it up again? No, I wouldn't, because there's 2 better IPAs out there for the machine. And that's it. They're my views on it. So if you've had this beer before, let me know what you think. I mean, you can let me know what you think really with the cans, how it used to be. Let me know if you've had it on the perfect draft and what you think about it. If you've not had it before, would I recommend picking it up? Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend picking it up for the one reason that Goose Island, Crew Republic are out there. Pick them up over this. But if you want to try it, that's entirely up to you. Feel free. So that's it for this beer review. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I've rambled on for quite a long time. I ramble, don't I? So thank you all for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again on another beer review. Cheers.